Good morning, Year 1, and welcome to Art for Term 3. This term in Art, we are doing an integrated unit. That means it's following along with what we're studying in science, which is light and sound. Now, I've had a look on your Seesaw at your KWL charts. Know, Wonder, Learn. And I know that lots of you already know some wonderful science fun facts about light and sound. I was particularly impressed with people who knew that light is an energy form that travels faster than sound. That was a really cool fun fact. You might be thinking to yourself, hey, that's what I wrote on Seesaw. Well, I saw your responses and you did a great job at that activity. For art this term, we're going to be looking at how light and sound represent themselves in art. We're starting today with learning about shadows. Now, I wonder if you could think to yourself, how might we use shadows in art? What sort of activities might I be getting you to do today to explore what shadow looks like in art? I hope you're excited because we have some really fun art activities to complete this term. We're going to start with the question, what is a shadow? I wonder if you know what a shadow is. Can you picture in your head maybe what your shadow looks like? I have inserted a video down below in Sector for you to watch. It's a science video and it only goes for about 4 minutes and it's going to teach us all about shadows and the science of shadows. And then we have a couple of art activities to explore how we can explore the concept of shadow through art. So pause the video now, scroll down below and watch the science video all about shadows. All right, you've come back because you've watched that video, I hope, or you have in your mind that you're going to watch that video after this before you go and do your art. Our first activity today is really, really fun. You're going to head outside and find a spot where the sun is positioned towards you in a way that casts a shadow from your body. You might need to wait till later in the day. You might need to do a little investigation today or a little experiment. What time in the day does your body cast the biggest shadow? You could run outside every hour and test, if I stand here with the sun here, what does my shadow look like behind me? Change position, if I stand over here with the sun there, what does my shadow look like behind me? Head back inside, go outside again an hour later, do an experiment, test it again, and find out what time in the day do you get the most awesome shadow. Because for art today, you're going to stand in a really cool position. So you can see in the picture here, this girl has a skipping rope. And so she's skipping and she's watching her shadow and how it changes while she skips. You might not skip today. If you're at school, there are skipping ropes, so you might like to skip. You might be hopping on one leg or jumping or going on your swing if you have a swing in your backyard. You'll just have to play around with where the sun is positioned in relation to you because you won't get the same shadow everywhere that you stand, and at every point in the day you might need to do some investigating around how to cast the best shadow. You might pose like a rock star like we do when I say macaroni and cheese and you say everybody freeze, and you freeze like a cool person. You might like to strike a pose and then have a look at the shadow that casts behind you. For art, I want you to take your big chalk. If you're at home, hopefully you have chalk. If you don't, you can do this activity on concrete with a bucket of water and a paintbrush, and you can paint your shadow with water. You might have to work quite quickly though so the water doesn't dry out, and take a photo for me on Seesaw when you're finished. If you're at school, we have jumbo chalk in Mrs. Topman's classroom. If you're at home and you've got chalk at home, lucky you, I want you to outline the silhouette. That means the outside of your body that shadow casts on the ground. So you'll need to find a spot of concrete to do this, not on grass, because you won't be able to create your artwork. Just like the girl here has coloured in her shadow black, she's outlined it and coloured in her shadow, I would like you to do the same. The different part to this picture is I want you to fill your shadow in with all sorts of colors and beautiful patterns so that it becomes like an artwork. So imagine the outline of this, but filled with flowers and stars and yellow suns and zigzags and purple crosses, turning it into a beautiful artwork. And again, once you're finished, please take a photo for Seesaw because I would love to see your beautiful art today. Now, every time you move to go and trace your outline, it's going to be a little bit tricky, isn't it? Because when you move, your shadow moves too. It follows you. So you might need to pose, get a general gist in your head of where that shadow is, and then go and draw it. Or if you're at home, you might have a brother or a sister who can help you. You might like to pose and say, "Hey, Alice, can you please come and help draw my outline?" So that then you can go and decorate the inside after she's drawn the outline of your silhouette. That's activity 1 today that I'd like us all to do. Activity 2, and this one's optional. Optional means you don't have to do it, but if you have extra time and you would like another art activity, you can go on to this one. This involves laying out lots and lots of paper in a straight line, maybe sticky taping it together, or if you've got butcher's paper, which is a long strip of paper, just rolling that out. But you'll need a longer strip of paper. You're going to go and get your toys. Now, this little boy has used his dinosaur set and position them along the side of the paper standing up. Make sure that the sun is in the correct space. So for this boy, the sun would be over here, shining this way, so that the shadow gets cast behind the object. Make sure the sun is in a spot where it's going to project the shadow off your toys. You're then going to do the same thing. You see this boy's got his textures. First, he's drawing around the outline. You could either just do that and take a photo for Seesaw, tracing around the outline of the shadow of each of your toys. Or the same as before, you can decorate the inside, color it in, paint it, do patterns, whatever you like to make it a beautiful artwork today. You might like to use your dollies all sitting up. You might like to use Lego blocks and make different kind of towers that will look a bit like a city scene. You might like to use sea animals or dinosaurs. There's lots of different things you can choose, whatever toy you'd like to do this activity with. All right, they're your 2 activities for today. I would love to see photos on Seesaw of them. Have fun, year 1.